Well, I usually don't delve too far down the hole of conspiracies because you really can get down to a deep and long rabbit hole. And I also don't really get like a deer looking staring at the headlights where you get frozen too. I do take note though. Um, I know there's been a lot of conspiracy theories in the past that have been proven to be totally false. Like for instance, December 21st, 2012. A lot of people thought there was going to be 3 days of darkness. Even the Tibetan monks were swearing up and down it was going to happen. It was going to happen. So many people believed this, but it did nothing happen. But there are things I think that portend grave circumstances that happen in the future, and maybe that the elite, quote unquote, do know about them, and they do give us hints. As a matter of fact, we know, for instance, that 911, which is a totally man-made event, there was a lot of hints in the media, basically, I guess Hollywood, or you see the Simpsons productions, the Illuminati playing cards, which is another one. Also, the original Illuminati playing cards, and also, the movie Terminator was even hinted 911. I mean, depends on how far you want to really believe it or not, but there seems to be a number of hints about asteroid or something striking the Earth in possibly September 24th, 2015. Now, the thing is, do you know where it's going to strike? No. Do you know how much it's going to be? I don't know. Actually, I think if they even knew this information, I don't know if they'd know exactly where, because there's just too many factors to ascertain. But there have been hints in movies about this, like for one, the movie Deep Impact. Deep Impact was a movie where an asteroid hit the Earth. There was also a movie Asteroid. There was also movies where there was the black president at the time, which could be Obama. He would be president at the time, September 2015. I'm not going to like flippantly just say, oh, this is not going to happen. I'm not going to say it's going to happen either. But it's something to be looked at. And as far as the assertion, or maybe to where people allege that the elite give people hints as to what's going to happen. Yeah, I do think there's truth to that. Even Fukushima, when that happened. Well, I think part of that possibly happened also was because of the Japanese automotive industry was going to be hot and heavy on the technology to produce cars that could run hydrogen, and also the hydrogen would be mined from water, just as Genepex was doing back in 2008. And you say, well, that was just a theory. Yeah, right, sure. The theory's been around a long time. It seems that any time somebody comes up with a new idea, they kill it. But, I wish I did archive some of those articles and PDF them instead of just bookmark them, because the articles disappeared off the web. But it was that the major Japanese manufacturers were going to bring about the new technology in a luxury line of cars, whereby water be mined. You fill the car up with water be mined to produce hydrogen, and the car would run off of hydrogen, and it would practically be running for nothing. So anyway, and you know what happened after that? The Japanese automotive industry particularly got hit hard by the what do you call it? The tsunami. That's actually brought the price of palladium down at that time. So, I don't know, but this is something where they're talking from like outer space, a meteor that's going to strike the Earth. Now, it could be or could not be. I don't know. I actually want to point out something else, because there's a lot of weird things going on in the weather too, and the magnetosphere of the Earth and the Sun has been way down, which leaves more room for cosmic rays, which can actually add to more cloud cover, which can add to global cooling. Now, I know a lot of people argue about the SUVs and all this type of stuff, but there's a lot of things that happen on this Earth, and we live in a little micro dot of time where we're overconfident of things that can possibly be continuing to go as they have been. But if you look at the geographical landscape of Earth, there's been a lot of meteor strikes on Earth, some very large ones. Now, this probably is totally unrelated to what I'm saying, but it's a very good point of interest, because there is a lot of weird changes going on in our weather, for instance, and it's not just because of the weather. It's not directly, like, you want to just microcosmically look only at the weather, but it's like it's because of a lot of things that are happening in the solar system. In itself, um, which may be, indirectly related to other events that may occur in the future. But this, I just want to call attention to this video. It was put out by Adapt 2030. They had an all-time world record for the most amount of snow ever in a short period of time. 8.5 feet of snow in central Italy in 18 hours. I don't know. I mean, hey, you can take a look at that. It's kind of unrelated to this, but it's telling you it's a lot of weird stuff that's going on, and expect the unexpected. So now, as far as what's going to happen here in the near-term future now this is predicted to be by some hints, because some people were talking 500 days from a certain date, which would put it up into September 24th, 2015, were to be a meteor strike. Yeah, that would kill the freaking markets, that's for sure, you know what I mean? Especially if there was a tsunami. Now, they showed these in the original Illuminati playing cards, but a lot of times people said nuclear accident was Fukushima, tidal wave was Japan. But then again, who the hell knows? I think there's an Illuminati playing card with asteroid, too. I am not going to get involved in every little detail about every freaking possible thing that can happen, but I just want to put this out because I think I don't want to like be playing fearmonger, because there's a lot of fearmongers out there, but one was the movie Deep Impact. Now, this was not the movie itself. This was actually a NASA project. I think we were studying some asteroid or inside of some asteroid. It was the name of the spaceship. But it's, if you want to go along with the theory that the elite have dropped us a number of hints as to what could possibly happen in the future with an asteroid, yeah, I think they have dropped us a lot of hints through a lot of movies. So could it happen? Maybe. I mean, it doesn't happen very often, that's for sure. But, the other thing is, I don't know if it does happen, and say it strikes the water, how much of it, I know they showed movies with the tidal waves going over the Himalayas and everything on Earth destroyed, but I don't know. Maybe they're giving us warning. Maybe the elite have given us warning, and, these are not the elite, just the Jewish guys over by the Great Wall, but, I don't know, just putting a picture up here, but, they're the elite in a lot of other ways. But the thing is, they're not the ones giving us the message here. But, it may be pretending, that it's going to be happening during the Jewish holiday, one of the most holy times of the Jewish of the year. I don't know. The thing is, I can't possibly see how any technology on this Earth can make an asteroid hit the Earth. I don't see anything like that happening. Maybe they know something, maybe they don't, maybe they do, The other thing is, even if they knew it was an asteroid that was going to hit the Earth in September 24, 2015, estimated time, well, I don't know if they know exactly where. It could be, you could be up in the mountains thinking the mountains are safe, and it hits the mountains. But I would think the most unsafe place to be would be on the coast, because the odds of where it would hit is in the water, and that would cause a hell of a big tidal wave. Now, I'm actually in Florida, but, I'm over 100 feet up in Florida, and very far from the freaking coast. So, that's not a guarantee, but I know one thing. Before I ever got inundated with water, it would be San Diego, Los Angeles, Washington, Baltimore, Savannah, Boston, Philadelphia, New York. They'd be all clobbered. They'd be under freaking 50 feet of water at least before I ever got nailed. But, I'm actually obliquely looking at this deal because not 100% sure if it's going to be, well, I'm definitely not 100% sure, I'm just kind of putting this out here as like more of a, a warning thing maybe, possibly, I don't know. I don't know what to really make of this. There's been a number of predictions where people say we got 500 days. I know they were coinciding that with Yom Kippur 2015. And that would be the end of the 500 days. I was just thinking that was the end of the 7-year cycle of the economy. A typical economy gets every 7 years, you got a recession. Everybody forgets about it, then it happens again. And they're making a big deal about it, that it's going to be the asteroid, too, because we got hinted. at it in a lot of the movies. And I know there is a lot of movies out about deep impact, asteroid, tidal wave, blah, blah, blah. There is a lot of them. There is a lot of them. And I'm suspicious. That's all I got to tell you. I'm suspicious about it. You know, the thing is, you don't know where the hell it's going to hit. That's the thing. I know the one thing, you definitely don't want to be like 15 feet above sea level anywhere near the coast. You know, I know like when Fukushima, you know, if that had happened where I am, you know, Fukushima would have never hit anywhere near me in a million years, because even if it was right up the coast to where I'm at, that's how high up I am and that's how high inland I am. But I would actually, if I knew this to be a fact, or if I get more attention on it, I'd probably go to Pennsylvania mountains. Possibly, you know, or temporarily just go here for a few days, just in case this crap does happen, or if I think it's going to happen. But I'm going to keep an eye out for this. I'm not going to exactly worry about it, because, like I said, some of the best minds had all the freaking things figured out about, you know, the number of days and equinox, and, you know, the Mayan calendar, and and the alignment of the pyramids, and the alignment of the planets, and how many days from December 3rd to to December 21st, you know, 18 days, and that's 666, and blah, 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 and nothing's freaking happened. You know what I mean? But then again, you don't want to totally ignore stuff either, because the time you ignore it is when you get screwed, you know? So, I don't know if this is going to be something or not, but, you know, it's one of those things they're talking about. But, you know, the way I look at it, man, if you're in any of the cities, man, because, you know, look at New York, what happened during that big storm they had. What the hell was that damn storm where they flooded out the subways and stuff? God, I'm drawing a blank on that. But, you know, they had, you know, that big storm just a couple of years ago. And actually, there was they had a lot of rain in New York and West Virginia. Got a hell of a lot of snow up there. But, you know, it doesn't take much to flood the major cities. You're looking at these damn big buildings. But, you know, New York City, Boston, even Philadelphia, which is, you know, close to the water by the river, right? You know, of course, Savannah, what the hell else is out there? God, you got San Diego, Los Angeles, Houston, and of course, everywhere in Florida practically, Tampa and Miami. I'm pretty high up, though, believe it or not. I'd be like, you know, probably like Fayetteville height or some shit. I don't know what the hell how high that is. But they would all get clobbered, man. They would all get clobbered. The largest, actually, most industries in the world are on the coast. Why? Because that's the seaports. You know, all the shipping, boom, boom, all the goods come in there. That's why these are the big cities. They're all on the coast. So, you know, it only has to go 10 miles inland to freaking kill a gazillion people, you know? So, I don't know if this is going to happen or not. I don't want to play fearmonger or nothing, but the Illuminati playing cards, you know, I think they got one of them talking about the asteroid and stuff. I'm not going to freaking get into all this garbage too much, because, you know, I'm kind of looking at it, but then I'm not looking at it. And, you know, the damn thing is, you know, this is the other thing. If you go up north, right, you got this problem, snow. I mean, if you go up north and you're in the mountains, I mean, the way shit's going right now with these freaking winters, they're all going to turn into icebergs, you know, and you'll be under permafrost for freaking forever. You know, so no matter where you go, you're screwed up, right? So, I just want to put it out that I don't want to take this lightly, but then again, I don't want to ignore it. I think they're dropping some damn hints on stuff. And there is a lot of weird stuff going on with, it's not just the weather per se. It's like the magnetosphere of the Earth has been dropping, also of the sun, and the power of the sun has been dropping. Now, that's not saying the sun's going to go blank and go off or something. I'm just saying that it's a normal ebb and a flow. Like Adapt in 2030 talks about this a lot. But it's a normal ebb and a flow. But we've had radical changes here on Earth before. We've also had some major freaking meteor strikes, too. That freaking clobbered the hell out of everything. I don't know. They might know something, and maybe they're not telling us. Maybe they do. Maybe they do know something. I don't know. Thing is, while I'm looking at this, is they sure dropped a hell of a lot of hints. I mean, there's some people talking about the 500 days And after after 500 days, we're going to be in a major crisis. And I thought the guy was talking about you know the 7-year cycle of the economy, which would happen to be Yom Kippur would be 2015, around September 2015 would be September 2015. But that also, some are conjecturing that's a meteor strike. I don't know. Don't worry about it too much, but then again, don't ignore it. If you're in the city, you're screwed. Um, but I'm kind of looking at this, but then again, it's like, what am I gonna, it's just like if you do one thing, there's another problem another way too. I know one thing. I'm well over 100 feet up, and I'm freaking like good 40 miles or more from the ocean. So it's not that damn bad. But then again, who the hell knows if that's good enough, So, but maybe the religious people might know. Now, I know a lot of people don't. Let me put it this way. I'm going to editorialize on this damn thing. I generally like Jewish people, even though I'm not Jewish, and I don't kiss nobody's ass or nothing. I'm just telling you that. But maybe some of the religious people might be able to interpret what's going on, and maybe warn us. Maybe warn us. I know there was a rabbi that warned us about the freaking coming economic cycle. I don't know if there's a meteor coming. Maybe somebody can warn us about that. I don't know. That'd be nice to know. If there was one coming, the next question is, where's it going to hit? I mean, if it hits landmass, you say you're in the United States and hits landmass on the opposite side of the world and not in the water, what's it going to do? Nothing to you, right? Maybe a lot of cloud cover and dust. Maybe it'll change the weather. But what's it going to do? I don't know. Now, if it hits the USA, if it hits the water, you're screwed. All the coastal areas are screwed. But then, if you think, it's not, if you think it's going to hit the water, you're up in the mountains and it hits the mountains, and you're screwed there. You need more information. If this is true, you really need more information. Having vague hints. So you stupid damn elite that give us hints, drop us a few more. You know what I mean? I'm going to ask you that right now. You know what I mean? You hints, not you guys. I'm talking about talking about the devil elite guys. I'm talking about the guys praying by the wall. I'm talking about the devil elite guys like you, George Bush. Tell me what's going on, man. You know what I mean? And if we got a freaking tidal wave coming up, tell me where it's going to be. So, I mean, you can make a movie. I don't care. Just tell me when you're making a movie, and I'll take a look at it, and we'll figure it out. But they don't give us enough hints. That's the problem. And I got to say this about the elite. You think you're being sporting, dropping hints? That ain't freaking very good hint, man. I mean, how the hell am I supposed to figure this out? Yeah, okay, so you told me a meteor's going to hit the Earth. Where? When? I mean, maybe you told me when. Where? Where? How do you know where to go? Right? So you're not dropping enough hints. That's not very sporting of you guys. I'm going to tell you that right now.